Hey friends, it is Crystal Lopez here from crystalandcup.com. How are you? I hope you are having a fantastic day. I am going to show you how to make a super inexpensive meal tonight for your family. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to take a package of hot dogs, which I bought hot dogs in my last Costco grocery haul. I also have some potatoes that I still need to use up before they're already starting to get these little things on them. I feel like this happens within 2 or 3 weeks, which is annoying. But we're going to use about 4 potatoes. Some of them have those little sprouts coming off of them and some of them don't. And then we're also going to use, I have an onion here, probably 3/4 of an onion. I chopped a little bit of onion up this morning to go in omelets. Yes, with egg prices, we still had omelets for breakfast. That's actually a really yummy breakfast that we're having right now, and I will try to record a quick video for you of how easy they are to make in another video. So this is known on the internet as Poormans meal. It's very similar to sausage and potatoes. We're gonna fry all this up. We're gonna use the electric skillet to do it. It's gonna be super yummy, super fast, easy dinner to make for my family. Let me show you how easy this is to make. Ready, set, go. All right, guys, let's start putting this recipe together. So I like to make this in my electric skillet. This is an appliance that I use often in my kitchen. This is actually my second one of these to own. I wear them out. I love them. I like how big they are. I like how deep they are, or this particular one. There's nothing worse than trying to cook dinner on the stovetop in a skillet that you don't have enough room to like move stuff around, turn it, flip it, stir it good, and it stay in the skillet, you know? So I love this. I refer to it as a 9x13. It reminds me of a 9x13 pan in size, but it's honestly a little bit bigger than that. I bought it on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it below so that you have it. We are going to start this recipe just as I start most of my savory recipes, and that is with olive oil, onion, and garlic. Another thing that I love about this electric skillet is that I can adjust the setting down to the degree, or the temperature down to the degree. I initially had this at 300, maybe even 350, and then I realized that it was cooking my garlic too fast. So you want to turn that down if that's happening. You don't want it to, burn or overcook or cook too quickly. We're wanting to cook that until the onions are translucent. Here, we're going to peel, wash, and chop up our potatoes. For this one, I'm just using 4 potatoes. I don't need to, my teenagers are not super hungry. They had a late lunch. It's mostly going to be me and Lenny and the little kids that are eating, and maybe the bigger kids will eat a little bit. We are, like I said, we're just going to peel these and get them going. I like to have one bowl that I kind of put, it makes it easier to have one bowl that you can kind of put your trash and your things in. I don't know, was it Rachel Ray that had a garbage bowl all the time? I don't know if she still does that. I think it was her. It is pretty helpful. So you'll see for these potatoes, what I'm doing is I cut them in half lengthwise, and then I take each half and slice it into 3 or 4 pieces. The key here is to keep all of your potato pieces as evenly chopped in size as possible. And the reason is because you want this to evenly cook. You don't want to have pieces that are bigger and aren't done when the other pieces are done or overdone and mushy, right? So just pay attention to the sizes that you're cutting here, and you're going to notice in a minute, I put some of these pieces in and they were really, one of the halves was bigger than the other half. So when I cut it, it was not equal in size. So I pull some of those out and just chop them down a little bit so that we can keep everything as uniform as possible so that all the potatoes are done at the same time. All right. Now, we want to make sure that they're coated well in the olive oil. We want to make sure they're not sticking. We do want to add some salt to the potatoes. Potatoes are pretty bland without salt. If you can't have salt, season them with whatever non-salt seasoning you would typically use. I like to kind of salt them a little, move them around, make sure they're well coated, salt them a little more, just making sure that everything's evenly coated. And then I put in some pepper as well, get them stirred, and then we're going to pop the lid on it so that the steam stays in, and that will help them cook a little bit quicker as well. Okay. Now we're going to chop up the hot dogs, and this package only had, initially it had 7 in it, and one of my kids had eaten 2 hot dogs. So there were only 5 hot dogs here, which is fine. We're going to chop them up and then we'll add them once the potatoes are done. I did add a little bit extra olive oil just because they were starting to stick a little, and I did turn them down a little bit, but we're going to pop the lid on it and let them finish cooking. And while that is happening, we're going to unload and reload the dishwasher. So let's do that real quick while we're waiting on the potatoes. All right, so now the potatoes are done, and actually some friends came by. We had borrowed some crutches from them a while back, and they were needing to come and pick them up. And so they're another large family that we're friends with, and they brought a couple of their kids, and we were all just chit-chatting, and I realized, you know what, they're probably going to be hungry too. And so I added a few more, another package of hot dogs. There's my husband stirring it up for me. We removed the potatoes. This was going to be all of the hot dogs that I was going to do, but I'm going to go ahead and grab another package and chop those up. But we added a little more olive oil because we don't want these to stick. We want to heat them up. We don't really have to cook them for very long. They just need to get thoroughly heated. And I did add some more onion to it. So we're just going to chop these pieces up and get them thoroughly covered in the oil and any seasonings that are left there, the little remnants of seasonings that are at the bottom of the pan. And then we'll throw those potatoes back in. And if I had known that they were going to swing by, I would have done more potatoes. But this was a fine way to extend it as well. And then before you know it, it's all done. There you go. It was absolutely delicious. I'm going to plate this up and serve it to everybody. Again, there's only about, my teenagers really are probably not going to eat much of this at all because, like I said, they had already eaten. This really only needs to feed about 4 kids, and then I had a little bit, Lenny had a little bit, and the dad of the other large family had a little bit. But there you have it. There it is. Absolutely delicious. You can add a side salad or some dinner rolls, what have you, to kind of round out the meal. Add a green veggie if you want. We got a thumbs up. There you go. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.